And next up, we have Eduarda Moura taking on Montserrat Ruiz coming out of Mexico. Eduarda Moura, she's getting her UFC debut here, but her last fight was on Dana White Contender Series where she did really well. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. She had some good showing in that fight, but Rick, I don't know if you had the same trouble as I did. It is virtually impossible to find any tape on Moura here. It's insane. It just seems like maybe this is just like bad timing or something, or like the promotions are so small. But it just seems like the only people who have tape on her are hopefully Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard, who are making the matches, and especially make the matches for Dana White Contender Series, because they're bringing in somebody to show Dana, and there's no tape. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it worked out for them, right? She did really well in her Dana White Contender Series fight, and then now she gets to take on Montserrat here, and she's a multiple-time Mexican wrestling champ. She lost to Amanda Lemos in 2021, and she took 2 years off before getting 10-8'd in the first 2 rounds of her fight against Amarim, and then beaten via ground and pound in the 3rd round. Now, wrestling is her forte here, and for me, I think that's going to be really entertaining to see go up against Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What do you see on this fight, or rather, what do you not see? Because it was impossible to find anything tape-wise.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see much of anything on Eduarda Moura. I mean, we know what we've heard, which isn't much. It's that, I mean, the difference in this fight to me is stylistically. I mean, she's 6 inches taller, and Ruiz is a pretty good wrestler, but that's about it. She's not great in submissions on the ground. She's got 3 to her name over her 10 wins, but 2 knockouts as well and 5 decisions. But really, she's at a 6-inch disadvantage, and she likes to go with head and arm tosses. So I doubt she's going to be able to get up there. Moura, for as little tape as there is, it doesn't get any better when you look at her opponents' records. 6 of her 9 opponents have had 3 fights or less, 2 of which were debut fights. And then, I mean, you have some first round within a minute finishes, which doesn't tell me necessarily that you're like a dominant fighter. It tells me that you're probably just levels above really garbage regional competition in Brazil. So it's really hard to judge this fight. Moura opened up to jump towards odds. She opened up as a minus 400 favorite and is all the way up to minus 600 now. I mean, from what I've heard, from the little I've seen of Moura, I can see where it makes sense, but there's no shot that I'm going to believe in that against a UFC fighter that has shown some potential to at least impose her will on some fighters. So she's got toughness. Sometimes you don't like to know that. She's got some good submission defense. Maybe she can exhaust Moura, who really hasn't been deep into fights other than one split decision, to a 12-14 fighter. I'm not wowed. I'm going to sprinkle. I'm only going to put a quarter unit, but I'm putting on Ruiz plus 425. Don't put any real money on this. If your units are like 50 grand, like don't put 12,500 on this, please. It's a gross fight.
Yes, I'm coming at this at the same exact angle too, where I know that the last fight was awful. She got absolutely destroyed. I know that she lost in her fight before that and then before taking 2 years off. However, where I want to give her a little bit of credit, her first fight in the UFC, she came in and beat Cheyenne Buys on 1 week notice after Kay Hansen had to drop. So I think crazier things have happened here, where maybe we see this as a case of like bad timing, or like life came into play and there was something going on for her where that's why she got obliterated so bad in that fight. When the odds are this like lopsided like this, that's what I start to think of is like, where can you find an angle for this? And I think there are a few angles here where there's just not enough of a resume for Moura. There is a lot more of a resume from a wrestling standpoint for Montserrat. And that's where I want to take advantage of the odds here. And honestly, if they keep moving, like while you guys are watching this and hearing this, maybe just sit and wait. Take it tomorrow, or take it like in a few hours. Just monitor those odds and see if you can get better. Because when I was doing my research the last couple of days, it was like, to Rick's point, plus 300, now plus 400. Now it's plus 430 on her money line at Caesars right now. I'm going to do a little bit more than Rick, than the quarter unit. I am going to go half unit on this just because I want that bigger payday for what could be, in my opinion, a lot closer odds. I think that the height disadvantage is definitely apparent, but when the odds are this lopsided, I'd love to be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Coming up next, we have got Angela Hill taking on Denise Gomez. Tune in.